Thank you, Mayor, for moving this item up. The state of California enacted Senate Bill 54, entitled the California Values Act. The California Values Act may be in direct conflict with federal laws and the Constitution of the United States. Furthermore, it cripples our law enforcement and creates a threat to public safety. On March 27, 2018, the Orange County Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution on this matter, which is attached as to this council action item as attachment 2. I would like to ask the City Council to also support condemning state law that restricts law enforcement and endangers public safety.
Does that complete the report?
Yes, that does.
Further questions for Councilmember?
Bring it down. Bring it down, Mike.
Seeing none, I will, do we have requests to speak forms?
Mike McHenry, followed by Von Bench, followed by Thomas Christiansen.
And as you're coming up to the podium, if everyone would please refrain from any support or opposing comments while the speaker is speaking so we can hear everybody.
Trying our best.
Hello, my name is Mike McHenry. I'm from the city of Orange. I'm here to respectfully ask you to oppose SB 54. And I would like to see all of you vocally support our president to build a wall and to enforce our immigration laws. And I would like to also applaud our president. He said he's going to be putting troops down by our border, and I think it's about time. This is a safety issue, it's a law and order issue. Jerry Brown is not the Prime Minister of California. He's the governor of the state of California. He has no authority over immigration, and I would like to see you all send a message to him telling him that. And that's all I'd like to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
My name is Don Beck, and I've been in the Orange County, living here for over 50 years. Okay. The rebellion movement against SB 54 and the lawless cartel in Sacramento must continue with a strong local voice of dissent from all legal American citizens of California. Let's make California great again and slam the door shut on hordes of illegal aliens and hell they bring with them when they cross our porous borders. We California citizens are sick and tired of hearing their indefensible, nonsensical claptrap, justifying their illegal acts. They lie, twist, fabricate, and distort. With the blessing from Attorney General Becerra, Kevin Leon, and Moonbeam Jerry Brown. They're twisted leaders, self-serving, egotistical BS artists. What do they bring to USA of any consequence? Next to nothing. Oh yes, we have MS-13, drug and human trafficking, murders of U.S. citizens, men, women, children, infants, and senior citizens, and our law enforcement officers. Our security is our primary concern. We don't need the U.S. to become a third world nation or become a haven for criminals in California. Let law enforcement do their jobs. We need to stop this nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
You guys got 3 minutes. Use your 3 minutes.
My name is Thomas Christensen. Okay. I am a resident of San Clemente and a former resident of San Juan Capistrano. And I used to go to J. Sarah Catholic High School, which is in the city. I'm also partially Hispanic, if you can believe that. As a former employee of the state of California and a former employee of the county of Orange, I took a vow to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. And I believe that SB 54 and any other measures which seek to nullify the federal government's immigration laws are unconstitutional. They go against the supremacy clause of the Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2, this Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. And then Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, it says, to establish an uniform rule of naturalization and uniform rules on the subject of bankruptcies in the United States. The federal government has the right to create citizenship and naturalization laws. States have no right to do that. And SB 54 directly violates Article 1 and Article 6 of the United States Constitution, that very same Constitution which I vowed to uphold and defend. And that is why I'm against SB 54 or any other efforts for that matter to create sanctuary states. They're unconstitutional, and the public and I would be completely behind you guys, behind any efforts to nullify SB 54. Thank you, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Stella May, followed by Kenny Strong and Robin Goodson.
Go, Kenny, all right.
Would you please state your name? I didn't hear it.
Stella May, and I am, I read my thing. I'm here as a representative of the concerned citizens of California, and a number of whom live in San Juan Capistrano. We collectively ask you to authorize support for the city attorney to prepare an amicus brief or joinder letter with Jeff Sessions' recent lawsuit, U.S. v. State of California, regarding the sanctuary state and cities. We also ask that you vote yes on your resolution that condemns California state laws that restrict law enforcement and endanger public safety. For the record, in addition to SB 54, we also feel that AB 450, the workplace raid law, and AB 103, the detention review law, are also important issues that cripple law enforcement and are also unconstitutional overreaches. For the media and others that are here today, let me remind you that aiding and abetting illegal aliens is a felony under the Federal Immigration and Nationality Act, 8 U.S.C. 1324, et sequitur. Also, the correct terminology is not immigrant when dealing with those who entered illegally, overstayed their visas, and or re-entered illegally, but rather illegal alien is defined in numerous U.S. codified laws. The correct use of immigrant is one who has gone through or who is in the process of trying to legally become a U.S. citizen, and everything else is rubbish. Sacramento has literally stolen your authority by the various laws, including SB 54. We, the concerned citizens, literally would like to see you return to the rule of law and to have you take back your local authority on all these important matters. We ask that you vote yes so that you can take an initiated step to get things back into local control. Thank you. And lastly, I found an amicus brief that was filed by the folks in Texas that also include the state of Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, Nevada, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, West Virginia, the governor of Maine, and the governor of Mississippi. So all of those states have collectively gone together with AMC for Jeff Sessions' recent lawsuit against the state of California regarding this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello. I'm sure you may have heard of me from Mission Viejo and before. I am Kenny Strawn. As I held up the sign before, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Mr. City Manager, thank you for allowing me to speak this time. There's a difference if someone comes through the border legally with through the proper immigration, if they're properly vetted, if they come in through a checkpoint, if they have all their papers, all their documentation, if they take years and years to become a naturalized citizen, that is an immigrant. Someone who just trespasses across the border, that's not an immigrant, that is a burglar. They broke into our country by doing that. And the Senate Bill 54, as Speaker Christensen already alluded to, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 is of the Constitution. Is a clause that SB 54 directly violates. We are a nation of laws first and foremost, and we need to get back to being that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
My name's Robin Bidston, and I'm the director of We the People Rising and the Remembrance Project. And we have members here in San Juan Capistrano that I'm representing today. This issue of SB 54, the public needs to understand. This is about protecting criminal aliens. In our state, we currently have changed felonies to misdemeanors, such as serial burglary. And many felonies are plea bargained down to misdemeanors. That means those in our country illegally that serve a misdemeanor will not be subject to being turned over to immigration officials by law enforcement after they serve their time. And this is wrong. This is not healthy for public safety. This is not good for our families. I concur with Orange County Supervisor Todd Spitzer when he said his issue with SB 54 is about the safety of law enforcement. He pointed out that it's very dangerous for our law officers. For example, if local law enforcement refuses to give the information on an alien that's been released, then ICE is forced to go into neighborhoods where there's gangs and other dangers to our law enforcement. So that was a very good point for opposing SB 54 that Supervisor Spitzer made. It's the issue of protecting law enforcement. So we would call upon you today to do the right vote, the vote in support of families and public safety and keeping our nation secure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.